the S&P is being very coy here today. It is not in the worst position. It's not in the greatest position. I know what the normal posture for the market is coming into, say, next week. So we still have some time, and that's maybe why they're able to kind of float here for a little bit. But normally, the S&P wants to move lower into early next week. But that isn't necessarily going to happen here. We have a very powerful up move underway. This is the weekly chart. And if I go to, this is one way to view the weekly chart. I have a preference to view it with no continuation and making it a front month. That way you don't have that gap that's there. So this is the weekly chart as I prefer to see it. Because that gap is there on the weekly chart because of the ending of the old and the new being at a different price. But for some reason on the continuation chart, it's not being stitched together. This is a more real chart. A continuation chart is a less real chart. Still works, basically, but particularly around the times when contract rollover happens, there's going to be a stitch on your continuation chart, and it'll often show data that it's not real. The market actually didn't do those things. They had to put those things in to put the stitch in so that you have one uninterrupted string of the market just moving along. So this is my preferred way to look at the weekly chart. Going back to the daily chart here and so on, we're just kind of hovering at pretty important levels. There's a lot I could go into here. This is stuff that we say for our people that are subscribers, clients, and so on from around the world. But it is critical. They're really kind of hiding their hand here before they show what's next here. If we're going up, it's a whole bunch higher. If they're not going to go down into early next week, it's a bunch higher. We've already given out all the prices and so on. There are people who believe the market's ready to have a crash, ready to do something like this. And I do not see that in the cards here at all. So there's some people on the internet that are promoting that idea. This is great that they're putting their forecast out there. But I do not think that that's likely going to happen. And there are things that happen in the market that I may not think are likely. So, I can't be 100% certain, but I'm pretty darn certain that that is not what we're going to see. But I do know what the normal positioning of the market is, and we're just going to have to wait and see how they're going to play this out. So I don't have as much time today because I want to be in for when the market starts moving again here. But we do, there's a lot going on. If you take a look at here's a half-day chart right here. This is the first half of today, and now we're in the second half of today. So the normal posture for the second half of today is actually lower. I mean, I would draw it in something kind of like, that's like the normal posture for the second half of today. And worst case, maybe the first half of Monday, if they don't do it today. But they're floating pretty well above important levels here. We'll see, and I'm just drawing in the sort of the wick of the bar here by doing that. That's kind of the normal posture, but they haven't done that. The low in the second bar is nothing yet. I mean, it's down at 45.08. We did it 1 unit early. We got down to 93.25, but not down to a little bit lower. And maybe this is all they can do. Maybe they're so strong that this is all they can do, which would then indicate the market's really in a position for substantially higher prices. So it is critical. They're at a critical juncture here on the day. And we're just going to wait and see what they show us here. without getting too frenetic about it. And then we'll put something together as they continue.